Just commentated on, still on the gantry. I haven't commentated on today's match against between Tottenham and Arsenal, which of course you heard earlier today on the JB Clark YouTube channel, which of course ended in a 2-2 draw. But we're going to take you back to Turf Moor yesterday and Burnley against Liverpool. Big game. Liverpool with a perfect record going into the game. They'd won their first 3 and had won 12 on the spin in the league football. They hadn't done that for quite a long time, so this was an opportunity to make it 13 lucky. Let's go back to around about 5:25 yesterday tea time, when the teams came out to a boisterous welcome at Turf Moor, as I pick up commentary at that point, right as the teams come out. A warm welcome to Turf Moor then for this Saturday tea time kick-off between Burnley and Liverpool. A real test of Burnley's credentials. They've won 1, drawn 1 and lost 1. Denied with a late opportunity it was. Let's run through that side. It's Nick Pope in goal for the Clarets, and then it's Matt Lowton, James Tarkowski, Benby and Eric Peters among the back. Then it's Lennon, Cork, Westwood and McNeil in midfield. Lennon up in place of Bjornberg Gudmundsson. Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes up front. 10 changes from that pathetic cup defeat to Sunderland on Wednesday, and believe me, it was a pathetic display, having watched the game back over a period of time. On the bench, Hart, Taylor, Long, Drinkwater, Henrik, Rodriguez and Vidra. Most of those players started that horror show against Sunderland, and of course they've been dropped. As I say, Lennon is the only one really that survives from that. Liverpool's team, a formidable one. Adrian is in goal, and then it's a back 4 of Alexander Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, Joel Matip and Andy Robertson. Then it's Fabinho, Henderson, Ronaldo, and then up front you've got Bobby Firmino, who's going to lead the line in the middle, Sadio Mane on the left and Mo Salah as well on the right. On the bench for Liverpool we've got Carrera, the goalkeeper, Gomez, Milner, Chamberlain, Lallana, Shaqiri and Origi. The referee this afternoon is from Manchester, that's Chris Kavanagh. He's the referee. His 2 assistants, Dan Cook, who will patrol the far side, the Bob Law side, and Sean Massey-Ellis on the near. As we're ready to get underway here at the turf. Liverpool in the dark strip, and they're going to be attacking the goal to our right, which is the cricket field end, incidentally, in the first half. So off we go then, and it's Burnley, of course, in the claret and blue, need I tell you. An early ball there, and it's going to be for Nick Popes in all in yellow this afternoon. There's Nick taking charge of the gloves now from obviously Tom Eaton, after Tom Eaton, our club captain, or former club captain, had taken his place now in the Aston Villa lineup. It's the long ball card again, looking for Salah. Challenges coming in there. It was Peters that got back there on the edge of his own penalty area. Burnley attacking the Jimmy McIlroy end. They usually attack that in the second half of games. So obviously Liverpool wanting to attack their own fans in the first half, so they must have won the toss as the shot comes in from Fabinho from about something like 35 yards, and he hits it into the cricket field stand away to my right and past the post, and then I'm behind for the first goal kick. We're just looking at a picture there of Jurgen Klopp in a baseball cap and a Finnish sort of raincoat. It's not obviously Arctic weather here at Turf Moor, but we've had 1:14 and a long ball forward, and Chris Wood's in behind. The flag stayed down. Wood turns inside the area, gets his shot in, and Adrian got a big right hand to tip that away. It was going into the corner. McNeil on the follow up forces a corner. Well, if VAR had been on the ball, it would have been interesting if Wood had put that in. A long ball over the top from James Tarkowski, causing all the problems. The flag stayed down. Dan Cook on the far side keeping his flag down there, and it was a terrific effort from Wood. I just wonder if that had gone in, would VAR have chalked that off? Well, that's a matter for debate as the corner comes in towards the far post, but it's gone out of play on the far side, and it will be a goal kick for Liverpool. 2 minutes gone 0-0, but a real opportunity there for Chris Wood. Hasn't scored yet for Burnley this season. Has scored a number of goals in the pre-season friendlies, but it's actually Barnes leading the way with 4 goals so far from his from 3 games so far. So he's one of the top scorers at the moment, not just at the club but in the Premier League. A high up and under there by Lawton, looking for the run of Barnes that time, but it's going to be Adrian's all the way. Adrian in an all-green goalkeeper's kit this afternoon, or this evening, and the sun very brightly, and that up and under backwards clearance there has put Mo Salah in down the right hand side for Liverpool. Salah checks, he's got Henderson on the overlap, but he uses Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now Jordan Henderson, the Liverpool captain, the long ball in there, but it's too far for everybody else. Liverpool in the dark strip today to avoid a colour clash. They usually play in red, but Burnley of course in claret, which is sort of a shade of red if you like. It would have sort of had a kit clash there, but one thing is for certain, I think this is going to be a tough assignment for Liverpool today. I mean, there's much doubt about that. As Logan takes the ball, flick on there by Westwood. Mane takes possession, still midway inside the Burnley half, I should add. 3.5 minutes almost gone in the first half. Alexander-Arnold inside the centre circle, chipping that in. Still 0-0 between Burnley and Liverpool. Delayed commentary here on the JB Claret YouTube channel, and there's applause around the ground. One of the Burnley fans, Zach, called Zaki, unfortunately a dad, a father, a Burnley fan, also a father as well, a grandfather who unfortunately has passed away. And it says, rest in peace Zach, always be a Clareton, and well respected. And a few Liverpool fans there, and noticed they're clapping, so it's nice to see the respect there between rival fans as Barnes goes off in pursuit, but that should be Adrian's as he picks that up just inside his penalty box. Burnley won their first game here, 3-0 on the opening day against Southampton. 2 for Ashley Barnes, 1 for Gudmundsson. Gudmundsson, in fact, if you're wondering where Gudmundsson is, he's out with an injury, hence why Lennon is playing in his place and has kept his place from... Oh, Salah hits the shot, and Nick Pope was beaten there. He hit the right hand post, shot just inside the penalty area, just to the right of the D as he struck it. Still not away yet, and it's Liverpool now with Fabinho, or Firmino rather. Ronaldo touching back to Fabinho. Now Ronaldo again, still deep inside Liverpool territory. Now Joe Matip has it now, and he goes cantering forwards deep into the Burnley half. It'd be interesting to see what Pope did there. No, it didn't seem to me he had no chance. Here's Salah now, looking to make up for that. This there, 5 minutes gone. Burnley very fortunate to still be at 0-0 at this stage. Liverpool have hit Burnley's post right this last second there through Mo Salah, looking imperious. Van Dijk on the chase as he chases a long ball forward, and it's back to Adrian. And now Matip can bring it away for Liverpool. Plays it to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold back in field. And it remains 0-0. Ronaldo finds Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk gets it out to the far side, and Andy Robertson, an £8 million signing from Hull. What a bargain he was. Mane trying to get him behind, and in the end Tarkowski read the situation well and deep inside his own penalty area and got the ball away to safety. Now Wood holds it up on halfway, gets the ball back. Burnley just losing possession a little bit now and just being careless. Liverpool attacking again, and the ball towards Alexander-Arnold can't be reached, and away comes Dwight McNeil with the ball, the number 11. World number 31 last season, broke into the first team a year ago, has just won a call up, in fact, right to the under 21s as Henderson hits a long ball from the right, goes to the left hand side, and Robertson tries to kill it, but can't kill it as dead as he would have liked, and Burnley cleared away. Burnley now with all their team behind the ball, but inside their own half of the field. Nobody at that moment, but here's McNeil now. He's carrying the fight to Liverpool as he takes on Alexander-Arnold down the right hand side. Has to cut back, mind you, and now finds an outlet in Peters. Peters gets the ball long. That's 2 over it, and it's going to be easy there for Adrian to take possession of the ball. There's Mo Salah He's hit the post. 7 minutes gone, incidentally, and it was a long ball here from Matip, which caused all the confusion. Marnie with a good ball there, could have gone to Henderson, but Salah hits it with left foot, and the ball careering off Nick Pope's right hand post and hooked away to safety. Could have been a real problem there for Burnley, and I'm going to go down that precise moment in time. But it remains 0-0 here in the game live as the game delayed. Sorry, as we see that again. And in fact, I think I've just seen on a replay now. I've just seen a replay of my effort again from Salah from another angle, and Nick Pope must have got a faintest finger on that. And if he has, that's an a miraculously great save from Nick Pope. So well done there, Nick Pope, there for a terrific save. But it's still Burnley 0, Liverpool 0, and it's Virgil van Dijk now to get the ball forward, or to get the ball back even to Adrian, who finds Joe Matip now. Matip, 8 minutes gone, 0-0. Liverpool have hit the post, mind you, about 3 or 4 minutes ago. Mo Salah coming closest at the turf. The game delayed. Liverpool, the European champions, being held at the moment by plucky Burnley, my team at the moment. Sue will be obviously taking a listen at this commentary with great interest. We're not taking any comments, incidentally, because this is a delay match. Only live matches, excluding 3 o'clockers, do we take messages. So don't be offended if you have posted a message. It's just that I won't be able to read them throughout the game. And of course, after the game we'll bring you all the results and bring you all up to speed with Saturday's games as well. Don't forget England action next weekend. A week today, England face Bulgaria. 4:45 we start live on the JB Clark YouTube channel, and at 5 o'clock kickoff. And then a week on Tuesday, first ever international meeting between England and Kosovo, again live with us from Wembley on this same channel, YouTube channel. Audio commentary will be on the air at 7:30 with a 7:45 kickoff for that one as well, as Matip takes the ball now for Liverpool in the dark strip. Gets it back to Adrian all in green. Made a good save early on from Chris Wood, and it's away by Virgil van Dijk, who's been announced as UEFA Player of the Year at the recent UEFA Awards, which coincided with the Champions League group stage draw and the Europa League group stage draw, which Burnley could have been in last year but weren't. Here's McNeil now as the ball comes in, and it's a corner off Alexander-Arnold. It's a corner to Burnley as we approach 10 minutes played here at the turf. 10 minutes have shot by very, very quickly here on a blustery but bright afternoon, late afternoon here at Turf Moor. Late kick-off. As the corner comes in from the far near side, rather, the headers were up. It's another Burnley corner. Came off, you guessed it, Virgil van Dijk on the edge of his own 6-yard area. Shrewd £75 million investment, probably the best 75 million that Liverpool will ever spend in their entire history, I would have thought. Burnley are a different animal. Even on nights like this, they can cause problems. I've seen it so many times, commentating on so much, as that corner comes in from the far side, punched away by former West Ham goalkeeper Adrian, who's been deputising for Alisson. You may remember in our first live match of the Premier League at Anfield against Norwich, he hurt himself, had to go off after 35 minutes. Excuse me. 11 minutes gone then in our delayed coverage of Burnley against Liverpool from Turf Moor. Burnley 0, Liverpool 0 is the current score. And Liverpool certainly having the best of it as Marnie goes away, but he's hounded out. Ben Mee coolly to James Tarkowski, in turn knocks it back to Nick Pope, and Pope with the right foot hits it a long way, 3/4 of the way up the field. Matip winning the next header, and Westwood to nod it on, but a foul had gone up there against I think it might have been Westwood, for offside, so a free kick for Liverpool, which they've rather wasted actually, Liverpool there, but in the end Walton hits it far up the field as he can into the bob wall. It's a throw-in just shy of halfway to Liverpool, and still inside their own half incidentally. Sean Dyche looks passively on. He was furious after the second string surrendered their chances of a decent run in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday when they led against Sunderland, and inexplicably didn't really, from what I saw, didn't really try against Sunderland, and they went on to lose 3-1 to Jack Ross's side, who on the night played really well. I know Burnley were very, very lacklustre, and we're always going to give Sunderland a chance the way they were playing on that night. They can't afford to make the same errors tonight. Good tackle there from Lowton, and just as Robertson was going to bound away down the left hand side again as he usually does, and it's back with Adrian though for Liverpool. Still no goals incidentally. We're coming towards 13 minutes of the first half. It's, as I say, goalless. Here's Firmino. Oh, he almost got Mane in, but again Tarkowski and Lowton read the situation between them really well there. Ball hooked forward though from halfway by Matip, high up and under. Liverpool trying to Burnley actually with the up and unders and the long balls and that. Salah's certainly got the ball on the deck on the right hand side, cuts inside. Peters, he's not one to be beaten that easily, and Henderson's with a good cross there, and he almost picked up Mane, and it was headed away from Tarkowski. Ronaldo picks it up about 35 yards from goal, has to drift out to the left hand side mind you. Then the ball back towards Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk just checks and gets the ball back. And here's Adrian. Adrian kicks forward. Just holds up a little bit in the breeze, and it's fallen for Dwight McNeil. It's just gone to the right hand side, but he gives the ball away to Mane now. Ronaldo takes possession. Henderson is in there too. Firmino well held off there, and Westwood's doing terrifically well to hold him off. Now Wood, just couldn't pick out Barnes, and the ball's going to run dead. I fancy Virgil van Dijk will fancy clearing that one himself, and he gets it back in fact to Adrian, and finds John Matip. And Burnley just making one or two errors when they have possession, and not just doing the basics right when they do have possession, because they're not going to have too much of the ball, I fancy, because of Liverpool's play. Although they did win a game 3 years ago, you may remember, when was it Vokes and then Gray scored within, I think it was 10 minutes or something, a 10-minute spell, and they won 2-0 and won with 18% possession. That just shows how good that was their last victory over Liverpool in any competition. They did draw at Anfield a couple of years ago. Scott Arfield giving them the lead on that particular evening. Liverpool have won their last two. 15 minutes here anyway. 15 gone here at the turf. It's Burnley 0, Liverpool 0 here, and they've got a free kick here, the Clarets. Burnley need, I tell you, in claret and blue. So now they've got to make the most of these opportunities. I think set pieces are going to be key for the Clarets, as we've always said down the last few years when we've been covering Burnley on this channel with commentaries and that. Certainly when they got into the Premier League. Now this is their fourth consecutive season in the top flight. Not been done since the mid-70s, as the free kick comes in from the far side. Tarkowski came to meet it, and the ball is out of play from his head up behind for a goal kick. As I say, it remains no score. Just to let you know that Liverpool have won a 100% record that they are defending with all their might at the moment, so could be a long old evening for Burnley tonight. They'll have to keep their wits about them. This is Virgil van Dijk just checking a little bit as he plays that ball over to the far side. Robertson once again back to Virgil van Dijk once again. Ball hooked back towards Adrian in that Liverpool goal. Former West Ham goalkeeper, made nearly 150 appearances for the Hammers. Made one of his first games here at Turf Moor in a League Cup tie some 6 years ago, where West Ham controversially won the game by 2-0. It was a fourth round game, and Burnley should have won that one, but the referee Made some bad calls that night and gave West Ham a penalty they should never have had, but one memory of that was Adrian's debut, and he did really well in that game. One of the first games Adrian played. It was the first time I'd seen him. He didn't look a bad goalkeeper. Good servant for West Ham. Anyway, Liverpool have got a free kick to defend. McNeil, that's a poor ball. That's a poor ball from the man that's just been called up to the under-21s. Nick Pope is actually the only man in the England squad. There was a lot of outcry yesterday when the England squad was announced. A lot of people tipped Ashley Barnes with his form because he is, although he'd love to play for Austria. Excuse me. Although he'd love to play for Austria, he does qualify to play for England because he was born in Bath. And he didn't get into the squad, but yet Jesse Lingard, who's scored no goals and has done absolutely nothing for Manchester United, he gets into the England squad, and I think that's wrong. I think players should be picked on current form, and not the way they are, and I think Gareth Southgate has missed the trick there by not including Ashley Barnes in the next two games against Bulgaria and Kosovo. Anyway, here's McNeil, 25 yards from goal, and Ashley Barnes is fuming because he felt he was in a much better position, and in fact, and him and Chris Wood were in far better positions than McNeil, and McNeil just felt he ought to have a go, but his shot was charged down. It was a disappointing end there, which could have been a very good move there, and I think if he got Barnes or Wood away there, I think Burnley would have been in for something there, and a goal inside 20 minutes would have settled a one or two nerves around Turf Moor. Just to remind you, the VAR should be needed at any point tonight. Michael Oliver of County Durham is the man in charge at Stockley Park, assisted by Stephen Child. 19 minutes of the first half gone here at the turf. Burnley 0, Liverpool 0. Header won by Manny, but it's going to fall for Ben Mead to get it to his centre back partner, Robert McLaughton, I should say, and he was playing at right back incidentally. No foul there on Lennon, and Tarkowski in there very sharply to win the ball there as Robertson closed in down the left hand side. He did really well there, the centre back signed from Brentford 3 years ago. Had to wait something like a season and a bit to establish himself at the club, but when Michael Keane left a couple of years ago, Tarkowski filled the breach fantastically well and did a marvellous job. Here's Joe Matip now for Liverpool, coming up towards halfway. Burnley 0, Liverpool 0. Marnie on the edge of the area, well tracked again. This time Matt Lawton got a footing on the edge of the area, had to time it well, otherwise that could have been a free kick or a possible penalty there, because it was right on the edge of the area and it could have gone either way if he had missed time to tackle, depending where he would have been at the time, but as it happened, nothing untoward came of it. Here's Mo Salah now for Liverpool. See out to the far side, and it's Andy Robertson. Robertson now will control it. Lawton to face him. And it's been a decent match so far, but it's 0-0. 20 minutes gone. And here's Mo Salah, just dropping a little bit deeper now, Salah, as he tries to play 1-2 with Firmino and gets it back. Salah inside the area, saved by Pope, and then Salah on the follow-up hits it wide of the right hand upright, the near post as we look at it. Nick Pope did really well initially to smother the first effort, and then it came rebounding off Mo Salah. He played that 1-2 there with Jordan Henderson. Really went Nick Pope straight out of his goal, very lightning fast. The former Charlton man, who's back in the England squad since his first England squad since he was in the scene for the World Cup, as we see that again. He's only won one cap for his country, Pope, as we see Salah just put that effort wide after Pope had saved initially from the first effort. Just rebounds off his right knee, and it goes wide of the right hand upright, and it's behind for a goal kick to Burnley, which they've sort of wasted now because Liverpool have possession again. 21.5 minutes gone, coming up towards the halfway point of the first half. Boy, is that 21 minutes gone very quickly. Decent game of football, mind you. But Burnley holding their own at the moment. Here's Virgil van Dijk. Finds Joe Matip. And Matip now just trying to weigh up his options, size up his options, and the ball is knocked back, and Fabinho takes possession, finds Trent Alexander-Arnold, gets the ball out towards the far side. Robertson is arriving, Jack in the box to keep that in, and he hasn't done, so it's a throw in to Burnley. Nick Pope there, a little bit lucky there with that save, but I think you'll find, as I said earlier, as you see there, look at that. I thought it might have got a glove on that at the time when we saw a replay, but the television boys, because the game is being live on Sky as I talk to you, I've just seen a replay that Sky have just put on my monitor that that they've zoomed in, and in fact Nick Pope gets a very slight feather on that, and here's Fabinho at the other end, or Firmino, sorry, at the other end. He gets his shot off and it's blocked, and it's hooked away again by Burnley for a throw in, halfway inside the Burnley half. Over on the far side, and in fact it's a Burnley ball. 23 minutes gone then in the first half here at the turf, and it's Burnley 0, Liverpool 0. The game delayed. Coming to you from Turf Moor. Ben Megan there with a long up and under, looking to find Ashley Barnes. Now a chance now for McNeil. McNeil running through the centre, but he's well challenged again, and Alexander-Arnold can bring it away. That will be a great battle, McNeil and Alexander-Arnold. That will be a real battle to watch out for. Fabinho gets it out to Ronaldo. Ronaldo going down the left hand side. Marnie's on the left. Edge of the area though, spaced by Lowton. Robertson on the other actually choose to go in there. Henderson now gets it towards Alexander-Arnold. 24 minutes almost gone. Alexander-Arnold with a cross in there, and Marnie's there on the far side inside the area. Marnie trying to get one shot off, and then another shot that was charged down, and it will be a corner kick to Liverpool on the far side. Liverpool just starting to build up a head of steam, and even a staunch current like myself is very fearful of this threat now the European champions are possessing. And Burnley must do is what Burnley must do from now on in, really, is do what they've been doing the basics right defensively. If they do the basics right, they might have a chance of a point. Corner far side as it comes in towards the penalty area, and Firmino headed it, but he headed it, loops it, a header from just around the penalty spot into the arms of Nick Pope, who was virtually unchallenged. And here goes Peters, who loses possession there, and now there's an opportunity here. He wears number 23, Eric Peters, not number 3. That's Charlie Taylor's number, as the ball is hooked in there and away once more by Burnley. Still 0-0. Referee Cavanagh has penalised Ashley Barnes. Must have been a foul there on Joe Matip, and free kick has gone Liverpool's way with just over 25 minutes gone. So at 10 yards inside the Burnley half, they've taken it quickly to Trent Alexander-Arnold, who gets it back to Matip, who was sort of infringed by Barnes. Now Alexander-Arnold down there on the right. Burnley looking to hold Burnley for as much as they can, and crossing there by Henderson on the right, but it's only kept in by Marnie, but he keeps it in to his cost though, because Lawton gets it away for Burnley. Flick on by Barnes, can't find Barnes rather, and now a header away by Peters, who was at fault objectively. If you look at it, if you take the refereeing decision, foul on Tarkowski there by Firmino, free kick for Burnley, which will give them a bit of respite and a chance to clear their lines. I mean, seeing that penalty, I initially blamed Peters at the time last week when I was on holiday, but after a few more replays, it looks a lot harsher decision, that penalty that was given against them at Wolves, which only got them a point in the end. But really, in a game, Burnley that really did play well, and had they taken chances at 1-0 up, they would have put Wolves out of sight. Anyway, free kick to be taken by Pope, and he hits it towards the far side. Once again, Liverpool winning time in the head as well, and the back four have been immaculate in what they've done. Virgil van Dijk has certainly marshalled them well, as Leonard puts a good cross in there, and in the end Matip had to knock that away up from virtually underneath his own crossbar, and it's a corner kick to Burnley. And Lennon was onside as that ball was played, and it was a decent looking cross. Matip just couldn't take chances. Nice little play there from Ashley Barnes to set Lennon away down the right, on the far side as we look, and that was good play. In fact, it was Alexander Arnold's rather who got the ball away. So it's a corner kick to Burnley. McNeil to take it on the far side. McNeil with the corner into the penalty area it goes. Ben Mee was up there too, so too was Cork in there as well, but it's Alexander Arnold away for Liverpool, and now it's down the middle for Firmino trying to get Marnie away, and Marnie's got there. Ball then just bounced a little bit, but it bounces in Liverpool's favour. Here goes Salah down the right, tracked here by Peters. Salah now cuts inside, tries to get a shot off, but it's charged away. Now Trent Alexander-Arnold with a real opportunity here to maybe cross the ball in, and he does so into that corridor uncertainty. Pope was in two man's whether to come and go. 28 minutes gone. It's Liverpool nil, Burnley nil at Turf Moor here in the delayed game here, coming to you from Turf Moor on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Ronaldo gets the throw in to Liverpool, 28 gone, and just seeing a replay of Marnie there. He was onside incidentally as that ball was played. There was a few Burnley fans who were grumbling that he was about 300 yards offside. He was beyond the last defender, but the fact was he was in his own half, and you can't be offside under the laws of the game if you're in your own half if the ball's played forward. So a little bit of napping. Burnley were caught napping a tad there, but they got away with it. 28 coming up towards 29 minutes played here at the turf. 28 and 3/4 minutes in fact. It's the ball comes forward and Peters gets there, and Pope had to be decisive, and he just about was. In fact, he gets it out to that left hand channel, and Peters didn't take it too far, Pope, but he was under a lot of pressure in fairness to him. He's done well, Nick Pope, since he's taken the gloves. Joe Hart had a horror show, by the way, on Wednesday, so he's nowhere near being back in the first team. He hasn't got a cat in hell's chance at the moment, the way he played on Wednesday night. Appallingly bad on all the goals that went past him, especially the second one. His attitude to me when I watched the clips back on Claret's Player, which is a Burnley site where you can watch all the full match reruns and stuff. I watched the rerun of the game on Thursday, and on Friday yesterday, and I was absolutely, as Barnes is caught offside there, I was absolutely disgusted with the way that Burnley played on Wednesday night. You know, they got in front, and Matty Vidra, can I just say, my auntie Margaret, and she's in her mid-80s, if she'd have had that chance, she would have buried it. I mean, it was easier to score than to miss, and Matty Vidra, from the rebound after Cork had hit the post, should have scored for me. But there you go. I just think some of them just couldn't be bothered. I think Vidra and Hart are the two I'd pick out as completely underperformed on Wednesday. Good. The only plus point on a very dire note for Burnley that night was the fact that Jay Rodriguez got the first goal since coming back. His first goal since coming back to the turf. He hasn't had much chance in the league. He's not had a start yet. He's had 3 substitute appearances so far. J Roddy's on the bench again today, and a free kick to Burnley with half an hour gone. A foul there on Ben Mee by Firmino, I should say. Just a little bit of a high foot there, which could have took Ben Mee's head off if it had connected. Fair credit to Firmino for just getting his foot out the way there, because it could have been a nasty one there for Ben Mee, who was the subject of an awful challenge you may remember on opening day against Southampton. Che Adams could have broke Ben Mee's leg incidentally. Anyway, there's the free kick looking towards Tarkowski. McNeil will get on the end of it down the left hand side. It gets to the byline. Henderson's there. Did the ball stay in play? Henderson says throw in. Burnley reckon it's a corner, and I think Burnley should have a corner there. Mike McNeil is complaining there that it should be a corner, instead of which it's a throw in. I thought Henderson didn't keep that in. I felt the referee there, Chris Kavanagh, should have been a bit more stronger there in a lot of respects. Anyway, here's Peters now down the left hand side. We're coming up towards 31 and 3/4 minutes of the first half. We're inside the last 15 minutes, and the ball trying to get through to Mane, but he can't succeed. And Burnley win another free kick deep inside the Liverpool half. So an opportunity now for Westwood to try and deliver something here. It's about 40 yards from goal. Westwood was foul there. Fabinho there, just going in a little hard there, pushed Westwood over, and there's no two ways about that. 32 minutes gone. It's Burnley 0, Liverpool 0 at the turf, and it's a free kick now which Westwood chips in, and it's a, oh dear me, no reaction at all from any of the Burnley attacks there, and it's McNeil now on the far side. Can he work something down that far side? No, he can't, and he's lost possession. And Mo Salah, and it's Burnley turn now to be probably caught on the counter attack as Trent Alexander-Arnold goes forward. He's got to Henderson on the overlap. Henderson back inside to Alexander-Arnold. His cross, oh, he takes a deflection and he's looped into the left hand corner. It's an own goal, I think, of Chris Wood. Alexander-Arnold will try to claim it, but I think it was a shot. I don't think he meant it as a shot. I think he meant it as a cross initially. Very fortunate Liverpool there in some respects. It's Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. Alexander-Arnold will claim the goal, but I suspect it will be an own goal of Chris Wood. Seemed to take a huge deflection. I'm certain it was going off target. Nicely worked down the right really by Liverpool. Henderson back to Alexander-Arnold, and I think it comes off the back of Chris Wood's head, which loops it over Nick Pope. I think under normal circumstances, if that was Alexander-Arnold's by no deflection, Nick Pope 9 times out of 10 would have caught that no problem. Because it takes that deflection off the back of Chris Wood's head, Nick Pope is wrong footed if you like, and there's no way you can retrieve that situation or stop the ball in any way going into the back of the net. So it's a Chris Wood on goal, I would suspect, and it's Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. So harsh on the Clarets, but that's the way it bounces sometimes, I'm afraid. The big teams get the luck, and sometimes the big teams get lucky. Liverpool certainly got a slice of luck there. Trent Alexander-Arnold, he'll claim it. I think as much as he will try and claim it, I don't think it can go down as his goal. It'll go down, I'm afraid, as a Chris Wood own goal. So Burnley 0, Liverpool 1 is the score then at the turf. A disappointment there. There was huge disappointment around the ground as that ball looped into the back of Nick Pope's net. Now as a Liverpool player down on the floor, referee Kavanagh had to stop it. It's Jordan Henderson there. Not going down too well with the Burnley fans at the moment, but Liverpool got the free kick. Burnley had a foothold in the game. I mean, at 1-0, it's still not out of the woods yet. I mean, Liverpool aren't far from out of the woods yet. Burnley have created one or two good openings here, but if they can just hold in there at 1-0, potentially get an equaliser before half time, anything can happen. As Alexander-Arnold, free kick on the right hand side, headed away brilliantly by Burnley, and then the ball back in, and it was Wijnaldum's half chance with a right foot from around 25 yards out. It was tamely hit, it didn't have enough power, but it was heading towards goal, but Nick Pope was well positioned. Ben Mee to win another header, now Cork to get it forward. Flag has stayed down here against Chris Wood, or has it? It's off. He's just off there, Wood. Was drifting out towards the far side in any case, so maybe it was just as well really that Wood was flagged offside, but it was quite late, the flag going up, as we see a replay of that opening goal. Yeah, I've just seen there from behind the goal, it takes a big, huge chunk of deflection off the back of Chris Wood's back and head, and that's what causes the ball to loop over Nick Pope's head and into the back of the Burnley net. So unfortunate there for Burnley, but that's the way the cookie bounces sometimes. As Liverpool now go on the break, and it's Mo Salah, edge of the area. He's been fouled, or he's fouled somebody there. It's a free kick to Burnley. A few ironic cheers goes up as Pope gets on with it quickly, looks towards Barnes and Wood. Header away by Van Dijk. Nothing gets past him a lot of the time. Only Nicolas Pepe last week really embarrassed him for Arsenal. even then Liverpool were going to run out comfortable winners. And Ben Mee gives that away rather cheaply. And here's a chance now for Manny, who sticks it into the back of the net. A big mistake by the Burnley captain. He's made a few of those in the past, I'm afraid. And he's made another ricket here, the captain. How is he allowed to wear the captain's armband when he makes silly mistakes like that? It's bad, you know. Liverpool are no mugs. If you present them with chances like that, then invariably you're punished. And this is what happened. Ben Mee has possession. He was in no rush at all. He could have took a touch there. He could have took a touch, then cleared it. He tried to be too casual. It was way too casual. It's a stupid mistake from Ben Mee. Firmino won possession, and Sadio Mane stucks it into the right hand corner. No chance, by the way, Nick Pope. Good left right footed shot into the right hand corner, but it was a present gifted by the Burnley skipper, who really doesn't deserve to have the captaincy when he makes basic mistakes like that. It just boggles the mind. It's an absolute gift for Liverpool, and you give I mean, they're not European champions, they're no mugs, but if you gift them goals like that, they will take advantage all day long. And Burnley, who really were giving Liverpool a game now, have just started to go right off the ball, and that was just pathetic from the captain. Meanwhile, Burnley have forced the corner. Sean Dyche will be livid about that. He's captain of all people. But it's not the first time Ben Mee's made mistakes. Newcastle last year being one example. Arsenal at the back end of the year, and now that just not on. As the corner comes in, and it's from the right hand side, and it's hooked away. Forward there by Lowton, but it's going to fall very kindly for Adrian under no great pressure. So an own goal, and then an horrible pass, given a horrible mistake by Ben Mee, has led to Liverpool being 2 up. And here's Henderson, goalkeeper, deciding to come off limits to catch it, and he did, and caught it inside his own 6-yard area and did well. No chance for Nick Pope on either goal. He's played well, and he's played too well. He's played so well, but he doesn't deserve 2 put past him there, Nick Pope. Maybe he should be having a word with his captain, because his captain was pathetic, as Tarkowski knocks the ball forward here for Burnley. And it just shows what a horrible week it's been for Burnley Football Club. The second string were pathetic, feeble, and just didn't try. Now the first team, it's catching on, I'm afraid. In the first team, Barnes has been frustrated, Wood has been frustrated. The midfielders haven't had a chance to get into the game at all. Sean Dyche is furious with 1 or 2 decisions. He feels it should be a Burnley throw-in, but Burnley are 2 up because of a combination of bad luck on the first one, as he takes a harsh deflection of Chris Wood. But the second one was more than preventable. If Ben Mee doesn't make that mistake, it's a different ball game. Anyway, here come Liverpool down the far side. It was Mo Salah who was trying to make a breakdown there. Well, Ben Mee should hang his head in shame. How many times have I seen him over the years make silly mistakes? But then you can counteract that argument. How many times has he saved Burnley in games? And yeah, there'll be people saying that Ben Mee saves us more than he makes mistakes. But you know, he's made 4 or 5 high-profile mistakes in the last sort of 12 months alone. That is just not good enough from a man who's supposed to be captain. You need to have your wits about you. Now Tarkowski's done the right thing there, took an extra touch and then cleared the ball, something that Ben Mee ought to know better. And you just wonder, why isn't Tarkowski captain? Because he would take on the responsibility. He's a better defender than Ben Mee. I think he could make a better captain. I think he's more of a leader. Ben Mee just doesn't lead. I've said this before and I'll say it again. He's a great defender, great player, but captain material, I'm not so sure. Anyway, back with the game, and it's McNeil finding Peters. Peters down the left hand side, back in field again towards Westwood. Now McNeil now to take on his man, and he's beaten Trent Alexander-Arnold once, twice, and he gets a corner, does he? No, he doesn't. It's a goal kick to Liverpool. Less than 4 minutes of the first half to go then, and well, it's disappointing really. It's against the run of the play. I mean, if you look at the game objectively, if you take out the mistakes and that, Burnley don't deserve to be 2-0 down. Yeah, they were very harshly done on the first goal with the with a harsh deflection from Alexander-Arnold's cross, which scooped over Pope. But the second one was such a self-inflicted goal. You just can't legislate for it, and that's another poor pass, and this time from Lowton. Burnley really need to cut out these basic errors there. They've just given to Liverpool a throw-in, which, if Lowton had his wits about him again, he wouldn't make that same mistake twice. And it's massively disappointing. Anyway, the ball up forward, and it's Van Dijk to cut it out. He finds Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now Henderson to Salah, and Salah bursts down the right hand side, does well to shake off Peters' advantage. Now here's Henderson, 3 minutes to half time, plus any stoppage time of course. Alexander-Arnold, he can claim as much as he wants that first goal, but I'm certain it's going to be a Chris Wood own goal. Anyway, here's Lowton now for Burnley, gets the ball forward, and Barnes tries to hold it up, and Wood there too. It's just not coming off for Burnley at the moment. Everything running for Liverpool, and the ball deflects as Henderson tries to play the pass in, but it's easy there for Nick Pope to take the advantage of the ball. He's played too well to have two put past him. He really has, Nick Pope. He's played out of his skin. That remarkable save to deny Salah early on in the first half was remarkable. Anyway, here's Barnes. Barnes gets his shot off right-footed, but he hits it into the Jimmy McIlroy stand and behind for a goal kick to Liverpool. And it just sums up the frustrations really that Burnley have had to endure before half-time. That was better though. Better link-up play between Wood and Ashley Barnes there. Gets his right-footed shot off, but it's, as I say, over the crossbar, and it's not troubling Adrian in that Liverpool goal mouth at all. So disappointment really for Burnley at this stage of proceedings. Oh, Nick Pope, cruelly done. Salah and Firmino bearing down on him. He did absolutely superbly. McNeil has possession now for Liverpool. Finds Peters down the right, down the left, sorry I should say, and McNeil goes past one man. He's got Jack Cork on the overlap should he choose. Jack Cork now just keeps that in play. Cork now needs to go backwards. Now Ben Mee, that's more like it. Take an extra touch. Shame you didn't do that on the second goal, Ben. That is just diabolical, and I hope he curses himself for that. That is just basic mistake, and you don't want it to happen to your captain, but he's not captain material. I've said this a million times. I've spoken to Des Bentley, who's just along the commentary box from me, and he's always stuck up for Ben Mee, and that's commendable, but you can't defend him after this display, surely. Here's Ben Mee again to James Tarkowski, who's actually played quite well to be fair. Chips it towards Lowton on the far side. I'm halfway, and Burnley look to try and get Wood in behind this time, but out comes Adrian. Like stay down this time from Dan Cook. Sean Massey Ellis, I should say, tell you that she's not had much to do on that near side. She may be needed more in the second half, as she'll have to track Chris Wood's runs a lot of the time as the ball is forward, and Cork wins possession. Jack Cork now finds Ashley Barnes. Barnes with a shot, oh, just wide of the left hand post with the right foot, just to the right of the D as he struck it there. Ashley Barnes to give him his terrace chant here at the turf. Took it out from under his feet. Burnley's top scorer with 4 goals this season, scored 2 against Southampton, 1 against Arsenal in the defeat at the Emirates 2 weeks ago, and scored a super goal at Wolves last week as well to almost give them a victory there. We're going to have 1 additional minute at the end of the first half, folks, and then we're going to take a couple of minutes break to get breath back, and then rejoin us for the second half of the game. 30 seconds into that 1 minute. Here's Alexander-Arnold again for Burnley, infield once again. Back again to Alexander-Arnold. Salah's there too. Good challenge again. But here's Dwight McNeil once more. McNeil towards the edge of the area as he gets that ball in there towards Chris Wood, but he can't do anything about it. And Fabinho to get it away. We've played the 1 minute, and there we are. So Burnley were very good value to be at 0-0 for a good 30 minutes, and then it all went horribly wrong towards the end of the first half. An own goal by Chris Wood gave Liverpool a very fortunate 1-0 lead, and then a few minutes later Burnley, utter stupidity by the centre back, gifted Liverpool a second goal with a poor pass. Firmino took advantage, ran down the middle, played it to the left, and Mane with the right foot side-footed it with his right foot into the back of the right hand corner of Nick Pope's net. And that is the situation here at the Turf. We're going to take a couple of minutes break here, and be sure to join us for the second half. We're going to get our breath back. Be sure to join us in a couple of minutes time with a half-time score: Burnley 0, Liverpool 2. Welcome back to Turf Moor for the start of the second half. No changes from either side as we get underway in this second half. Burnley attacking the goal to our right. And I apologise if you've seen a few comments there. I'm very sorry. There were a few distasteful comments about me and I didn't really appreciate that. And as we get underway, there's no changes, so it's the same 11s as before. Just to run through the benches. Burnley have Hart, Taylor, Long, Drinkwater, Henrik and Rodriguez and Bidra. Cahella, Gomez, Milner, Chamberlain, Lallana, Shaqiri and Origi for Liverpool as Pope kicks away now right footed for Burnley. 2 goals down, and they're only themselves to blame really for that, as the long ball and Firmino was offside as that ball was played. Earlier today there were wins for Crystal Palace, Leicester City against Bournemouth 3-1. Southampton got a point to go at home to Manchester United. That was a great point for them. City beating Brighton very comfortably. All that sort of game, and really was enjoyable anyway. Enjoyable day in the Premier League for sure, as Marnie tries to go on the back of that, and then the ball's hooked away. And then trying to go on the end of it, but here's Randy Robertson now picking it up down the left hand side for Burnley. Here's Sadio Mane, and here's Robertson. Robertson concedes wins the corner there for Liverpool. Liverpool, just to remind you, we're attacking the McElroy stand away to my right, and hopefully we'll see some great action in the second half as that header comes in towards the back post. It was well headed on, and away for a goal kick. And off we go again now. Sorry for the slight pauses, but we're just checking social media there at this moment in time because we've had and here's Mo Salah now for Burnley, or for Liverpool I should say. Trots over halfway, he's got Mane to his left. Here's Mane now, cuts inside, a lovely ball towards the edge of the penalty area, well picked up there by Eric Peters, did really well, but it's Fabinho winning the ball. Now the ball back inside. The European champions 2 goals clear and in complete control of this match now. Deflected first goal, which gave Burnley the lead, Liverpool the lead, and then back came Liverpool with a second one after a stupid mistake really by Ben Mee, as Fabinho's on bowling, tried to pick out Alexander Arnold, but the ball was just too long for him to get on the end of. There's a pick on by Wood. Concedes a free kick. And it has been a disappointing night really for Burnley. Absolutely sure. So Burnley 2-0. Burnley 2-0 down. And really need to up their game really in the second half to give themselves an opportunity. As Mane battles there, but it's gone out for a throw-in or a free kick against Lowton. 50 minutes gone, 5 gone in the second half. It's Burnley 0, Liverpool 2. Chris Wood on goal. It's been confirmed at half time that it's come down as a Chris Wood on goal. But a free kick comes in from Robertson towards Salah, but it's going to be Nick Pope's again. And Pope bowls it out to Ben Mee. Mee on in turn. Now an opportunity for Burnley to get players forward and up towards Ashley Barnes. And Wood trying to win it, but the ball back to Adrian, who's early save from Chris Wood. Denied Burnley earlier on in the first half. That's been tough going really for Burnley today. Good value to be level for half an hour, but then after that they just made mistakes. After that first goal, they just made bad mistakes. And it's cost them dear, I'm afraid. We're throwing down the near side. And the throw will be taken on the near side. And here's Jack Cork now to win the ball. Takes it back again. And now the ball swept out towards Lowton, and that was a poor ball, but Lowton should have done better to control it on the right hand channel, and he didn't. It really was tough there, but here's the throw anyway to be taken by Robertson down the line, looking towards Mane. And Mane takes possession, looks to go past one and past another, but it's a foul there, and a free kick given. Burnley now, Liverpool 2 is the score as we go into the 8th minute of the second half. As the ball was up forward, it wasn't a foul actually. It was play on, said the referee. Mane must have gone over a little bit too easily, according to Chris Kavanagh from Manchester, the referee. Chases on, but it's with Nick Pope once again. Takes a touch, kicks away right-footed. Done well, Nick Pope. Hasn't put a foot wrong today. Here's Firmino. Good play again, and Salah is offside. Salah's offside as that ball was threaded through. So a free kick has been given to Burnley. It has been a little bit disappointing, really. The 2 goals have really taken the sting out of it. Barnes has been penalised again for an aerial challenge on the edge of the Liverpool penalty area. There's a player gone down. I can't tell who it is. It's who is it? It looks like it's Matip. He's gone in there. Well, Barnes had every right to win it. I think Matip went down a little easily there for me. You know, Barnes is a very physical player, but he's that sort of player, and I think the referee was sold a dummy there by the theatrics of Matip a bit. He knew he wasn't. He knew he was going to get the decision, but he didn't have to be so theatrical about it, I'm afraid. Very disappointing. Anyway, it's back with Burnley once again, and then the challengers come flying in again. Burnley just can't seem to get their game going here. 54 minutes almost gone here, and it's 2-0 to Liverpool. 9 gone in the second half. Liverpool have conceded a free kick. Burnley have a free kick 10 yards from halfway, just to the right of the centre circle. Tarkowski wisely leaving it to Nick Pope now to hoist forward here, right-footed. Try and put a bit of pressure on Virgil van Dijk in the Liverpool defence. 1 goal here from Burnley could really spell a bit of danger here for the Clarets. Here's Cork now to win it. Now finds McNeil. McNeil goes round the blind alley with Alexander-Arnold. Turns there. His shirt was being tugged there. And in fact the referee spotted it in a free kick to Burnley. In a promising position. Now this is where Burnley have got to make it pay. Here's the replay. McNeil doing well, was pulled. And yeah, definite free kick. No doubt about it. Almost as good as a corner, this. A little bit closer in from the quadrant on the far side. Liverpool defending the cricket field stand away to the right hand side, as the corner is going to be, or the free kick rather, is going to be floated in by McNeil. Cork is at the near post. Tarkowski waiting on the edge of the 6-yard line. In towards Tarkowski as well, but the ball comes back as far as Lennon. Lennon has to touch it back now. Now Peters back to his goalkeeper. Here's Pope again. Pope gets it away. Right footed and down the middle it goes. Alexander-Arnold across. And a throw to Liverpool, I think. Or is it a Burnley throw in? It looks as, although Alexander-Arnold kicked the ball out rather nonchalantly, and the Burnley fans want Alexander-Arnold book here. I think he should be booked there. I think he kicked the ball away. The ball had gone dead off a Burnley player and he just kicked it away nonchalantly. I can understand players doing that. Under the rules of the game, it's a booking. Anyway, here's Alexander-Arnold now picking the ball up. A good player he is, but that was just ridiculously unprofessional. Anyway, here's Henderson now picking it up, finding Marnie. Marnie running towards the edge of the penalty area. But he plays it to Robertson. Robertson doing really well here. Liverpool in complete control. Let's not forget of this game. Burnley second best at the moment. Ball in there from Robertson, but it was too close to Nick Pope, who takes it very comfortably inside that 6-yard box. There was the replay. No need to see a replay of that. Nick Pope was easily getting that, no trouble at all. And it remains 2-0 still to Liverpool. As Burnley comes forward in search of a third goal here, or a second goal I should say. And here's Salah again, playing the ball across the face of the penalty area. Still might break for Liverpool, but once again a good challenge again, last ditch challenge there by Burnley. But it's Alexander-Arnold. Here's Salah now, right hand side. Salah's cross, and it's out of play I think for a goal kick to Burnley. A few goals to get this into the penalty area. Salah did really well to escape Firmino rather did well to escape a couple of defenders. Played it into Salah, whose cross-come shot hit the side of the netting. The way for a goal kick. That's been bitterly disappointing. The flag is stayed down there against Ashley Barnes, and Adrian was quickly off his line anyway to gather it in. Here's Fabinho, or Fabinho, yeah. Here's Robertson, cuts inside. European champions Liverpool 2 up here at Turf Moor. They played okay. They've been very dominant in possession as you would expect. But Burnley, through ill fortune and self-inflicted wounds, have gifted them 2 goals. That's a foul, is it? Yes, Tarkowski fouled his man, I'm afraid. So a free kick to Liverpool. It's just awful, really. Fabinho might have not been going anywhere. Was going down a blind area, and Tarkowski decided to take him out. It wasn't the best advice. It wasn't an advisable thing for Tarkowski to do, really. Come up towards the final half an hour, 50 seconds shy of that last half an hour. Burnley 0, Liverpool 2 is the scoreline. The game delayed from Turf Moor, and it's Alexander-Arnold with a free kick from the left hand side. Right, work it to Robertson, yeah. Robertson back to on this opportunity there for 3, and it was Salah's shot, and it was well charged down just to the right of the penalty area, left-footed, but Burnley charging it down really well. Fabinho just keeping that in and getting it back to Adrian, who's not really had much to do at the other end, and he kicks away. We've had an hour, we've got half an hour to play. Burnley 0, Liverpool 2 is the scoreline. Here's Ben Mee to hook it forward for the Clarets. A long ball forward, and down the line it goes. Matip away for Liverpool, and that's out of play. And now the ball is kept in and the ball hooked forward. A long chase here, and it's Salah 1-against-1 against Peters and me, and he's passed them both. Still Salah will get it onto the right foot, but he's hit it straight at Nick Pope. When he's on form, more Salah is practically unstoppable. Away from Peters as if he didn't exist. In fact, away from Tarkowski and Ben Mee as well. And then control it, try to get it onto his favoured right foot, but Nick Pope was right behind the shot. Jurgen Klopp still frustrated, and his team are 2 up. He's a perfectionist, the German, the charismatic German manager, and he's good for the Premier League. In all fairness to him. And it is a throw-in. And Ben Mee now being spoken to by Cabinet, the referee. Westwood as well. He's had a decent game tonight, Chris Cabinet, although he's given 1 or 2 questionable decisions, but it's Burnley's own making while they're 2-0 down, really. Here's Virgil van Dijk to Andy Robertson. Takes possession here on the left-hand side. Back to Virgil van Dijk once again. Van Dijk turns and hooks the ball forward. Now Matip has possession here for Liverpool. Hooks the ball out towards the far side, and Robertson is lurking. Robertson now, opportunity now to go in field, and it's a foul there. Is it on Wijnaldum? No, it's not. And it's play on. And a good ball out towards the far side. A real opportunity now for Trent Alexander-Arnold to get the cross in. It's turned away for a corner. And Matt was better defending there from Burnley. Chris Cabinet, the referee. FIFA approved as well, by the way. Got his FIFA badge on. Westwood with some defending to do now. He's stationed on one of the posts as Burnley defend this latest corner to be taken here on the far side. No substitutions used as yet by either team. Inside the final 27 minutes plus any stoppage, injury and stoppage time that will be added on. Here's the corner. Didn't really clear the first man. It was Peters who got it away at the near. It wasn't particularly a good corner there. And it's away by Burnley to safety. And hoisted forward again by the Clarets. And Barnes and Wood holding the ball up well, trying to bring the midfielders into it. Westwood's lost the ball, and it's given Mane a chance now to make it 3, Willie. Mane to the far side, a real opportunity now. The ball knocked back. Henderson, and then the overhead kick, and at the far post from Firmino, which was virtually kicked off the line there by one of the Clarets defenders. Westwood gifting possession away. Burnley simply haven't learnt their lessons from the first half, really. Henderson could have had a shot there, tried to play the ball back, and then in the end Firmino trying to overhead kick it. In fairness, Ben Mee did well there, going in the way of the effort. Might have been going wide, might have been going in, who knows. Anyway, corner from the near side. Salah takes, bypasses everybody. In fact, the referee spotted an infringement inside the penalty area, and it's a 3 kick to Burnley. It was just less than 25 minutes of the game remaining here. Burnley needing a few snookers to get back into this, and it's hard for a staunch Correct like myself to say that, but it is true. From what I've seen so far, it's not really been good enough. And you'd have expected Burnley on a day like today to have more buzzing, put up a better show than this, and they haven't really done so really in terms of the way the game has gone. It's been disappointing really, but give Liverpool their fair dues. They've done really well, and yeah, they were a bit lucky on the first one, but they were gifted the second one by some stupid defending from Burnley. It really was car crash defending, but Burnley just got to keep their wits about them. If they can get one goal, they might still have a chance. They must take advantage. Lennon there looked as if he was fouled there. The referee was right on the spot. Henderson's also down, but it was a foul by Jordan Henderson. Free kick to Burnley. Lennon went flying over, and Henderson has hurt himself in making that tackle. Certainly a foul there on me. Henderson hurt himself there quite clearly there. It was a daft thing for the Liverpool captain to do, and he's hurt himself in the process. There was never an advantage ball coming. I think his ball might have fallen a little awkwardly there, the Liverpool captain, as we just give ourselves a little welcome break here. No substitutions to speak of. Just to remind you of the subs: Hart, Taylor, Long, Drinkwater, Henrik, Rodriguez and Vidra, Galala, Gomez, Milner, Chamberlain, Lallana, Shaqiri and Divock Origi for Liverpool are the substitutes. Jurgen Klopp baseball capped tracksuits. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain looks as if he's going to be the first player to come on here. Jordan Henderson, as customary now under the laws of the game, has to go off to receive his treatment and come back on again, but it looks like the Ox is about to enter the fray here for Liverpool. So 2-0 to the men from Anfield. As things stand, they will as things will stand at the moment, they will be will have a perfect record if it was to stay the same way, or they were to even extend the lead. If Burnley were to come back and win 3-2, this would be the miracle of all time. Peters now to Lennon rather to Lawton, and Lawton trying to get it back to Lennon, and the ball's been lost again, and here's Firmino now. 23 minutes left of the second half, and it's a free kick I think given against Burnley to Liverpool. It's frustrating Burnley a little bit. Ashley Barnes inquiring as to why, but referee Cabinet gives it against Burnley yet again. He has been given one or two questionable decisions, but not the referee's fault. Burnley are in the trouble they are in at the moment in the game. This is not a game really that was going to define Burnley's season, but they ought to be putting in a bit more effort than what they are doing. That's a better ball now. Wood might get on the end of that, but it's too far down the goalkeeper's throat. It was a good idea, but the ball just a little bit overhit as that ball was played over the top. Adrian saw it all the way and gathered it in well. All back again to Adrian. Still 2-0 to Liverpool, but it's a very comfortable 2-0 lead now. Burnley, decent football for half an hour here tonight, but since that, I think that first goal when it went in just knocked the stuffing out of him quite a bit. Knocked the stuffing out of us a little bit, and obviously Liverpool have punished us. Burnley with a horrendous error for the second one, and it looks as if it could well cost us any chance of some points here today. But I mean, if you ask any Burnley fan really at this stage of the season, including this commentator here, would you take 4 points from those first 4 games? Of course you would, considering you're playing 2 of the big 6. I don't think it's a bad start to the season. Burnley had 1 point from their opening, had no points I think from their 1 point from their first 4 games a year ago. So we have improved a little bit from last season, and the strong draw is there, but it's not been there enough as Burnley pumped the ball in, but there was a flag up anyway against possibly Ashley Barnes or Chris Wood. Chris Wood more than likely. If he had become active, Sean Massey would have put a flag up there definitely. The assistant on the near side there. Just has been frustrating as Salah goes forward down the other end on the right hand channel. Good challenges won there by Burnley. Peters getting in the way for the Clarets. It has been disappointing in some respects really, because you look at it logically, it's been tough. It has been tough all the way round, and when you look at the way Burnley have tried to play, yes, Burnley have tried to play, but Liverpool have just been too astute for them really in some respects, and probably just getting their just desserts in. You look at the game logically over the 45 minutes as Chamberlain now comes on for Liverpool, as Alexander-Arnold takes the throw in, and now ball out towards Virgil van Dijk, who tries a audacious attempt from almost 45 yards with his right foot, which wasn't far away from maybe trying to force Nick Pope into a save. It was a good 5 or 6 yards over the bar as it turned out, but it didn't matter in the end, and it's a goal kick to Liverpool, and there is one. And Burnley will be kicking themselves really the way the game went. Well, the game has gone anyway. Ashley Barnes and Matip in a bit of a tangle. Barnes has got the decision, incidentally, and a free kick has been given. So opportunity knocks now for Burnley now to try and get back into this game. Can they do so now and try and find a way through? Remember, it's 2-0 at the moment, and Burnley have a free kick. Can they? What an opportunity, as that free kick was sent in by McNeil towards Tarkowski, and he couldn't finish the job off there, and it's behind for a goal kick. Henderson has been replaced by Chamberlain, incidentally, just to keep you in the loop. But it is 2-0 at the moment, and looking ominous, I'm afraid, for Burnley fans, as Jay Rodriguez about to come on. Presumably, I think Chris Wood will probably come off. That's my theory of it. As Rodriguez, it's Ashley Barnes. Ashley Barnes. Well, there's a few annoying Burnley fans out there right now, because, well, a lot of people thought it might have been Chris Wood, because he's not really done that much really, apart from that early opportunity that he missed. Having said that, though, Ashley Barnes hasn't done much, but he gives you that X factor up front. So a few moments of discontent amongst the Burnley fans there. Sean Dyche, did he bring off the wrong player? Certainly the right player to bring on, but was it the right player to take off anyway? It's a goal kick regardless to Liverpool. So the hometown boys on for Ashley Barnes at the moment, and very disappointing reaction from the Burnley fans, from most Clarets really, because I felt Chris Wood was getting nowhere. Be interesting to see what Sean Dyche makes of criticism to that, because he will be criticised. One or two Burnley fans in the Bob Wall stand were aghast when that numbers board came up and said number 10 rather than number 9. I have to say, I was expecting Chris Wood there to be taken off, but to no avail. Ben Mee nods out of play for a throw. We're inside the final 20 minutes. In fact, we're inside the final 16 minutes plus stoppage time towards the end of the game, and it's just it's been disappointing really from Burnley. As I said, good value for half an hour, but then that deflected goal really knocked the stuffing out of them, and in the end Liverpool have been allowed really to take advantage of that lucky first goal, and then the mistake on the second by Ben Mee, and they've sort of to be fair, you give them their fair dues. They've been really professional and really thorough. This is why they're European champions. So I mean, it's not. We can't really be too critical, really, of Burnley. But if they've just done the basics right, they might be still in the game with a chance of maybe snatching something. That's the frustration. I think most Burnley fans will look back on and think, if only, as Cork kicks the ball back, but Ben Mee has to get there and invites Nick Pope now to get all that back pass and kick away right-footed. He slipped over as he kicked it there. Still looking towards Jay Rodriguez, yet to really touch the ball yet. Here's Jack Cork now to win it in midfield. Ben Mee to get this forward. Good play now. Chances here. The flag stay down. It's Jay Rodriguez for Burnley. Could save Adrian. I think the flag did go up. And then Chris Wood knocked the rebound into the back of the net, but it wouldn't have counted. Quarter of an hour to go. Sean Massey's flag was definitely up. Did look a little offside to me. I think if well, the ball was played through initially, and then the second ball, it's when Rodriguez was then active, and I'm afraid it was offside. I'm afraid, but it was a good decision actually from Sean Massey. She did the right thing there. I'm saying this with gritted teeth, but it is correct. This is Robertson from Liverpool, the European champions. And here's Virgil van Dijk, who's been again, you have to say, he's had his usual rock steady game. Nothing really gets past him on any given day. He's just he's one of those defenders that will always fight for you. He's always one of these players that's good to have on your side. Here's Bobby Firmino. He hasn't scored yet against Burnley. Usually scores against the Clarets. And here go Liverpool. Here go Burnley again, but they've lost possession. Jack Cork there, just a little bit guilty. Scored against Burnley. Scored against Liverpool in the corresponding fixture last season. Burnley have won a throw-in, however. So actually, Matt Lowton now to try and throw this in now, and he flicks on by Jay Rodriguez, and it's out of play. Is it? No. Play on, says the referee. It was Wood who flicked it on towards Rodriguez actually, but it was well cut out. Being to win there the ball and won it well against Mo Salah. That's no easy feat. 13 minutes left to play. Still Burnley 0, Liverpool 2. In the game delayed, and it's Ben Mee to hook the ball back to the goalkeeper, and flick on again. Here's Rodriguez, and he'll run at his man, and he'll turn. And here's Dwight McNeil running at all comers as well as Trent Alexander-Arnold. Once again the shot was being pulled, but Alexander-Arnold got a good tackle in there. McNeil, to his credit, stayed on his feet. Throw on the left hand side to Burnley, almost in line with the edge of the penalty area of Liverpool. Can they try and get one back here, Burnley, and make a game of it for the last sort of 12.5 minutes or so? Who knows? Cork now hooks it forward, can't find either Wood or Rodriguez, who were further forward inside the penalty area. Tarkowski mopping up and finding Lowton. Oh, and it was a good idea, but it just couldn't find Lennon, and he would have been in as well, Lennon. That's the other unfortunate thing about it, as Mo Salah breaks away. Real opportunity now for number 3 as the shot comes in. It was Chamberlain with the shot, hit it right footed to the right of the D, and well held at the near post by Nick Pope. And now the ball is with Lennon down the right hand side for Burnley. And Burnley now, can they put a huge effort in the last 12 minutes or so? Can they really force Liverpool and make them into making mistakes and maybe making a fight out of this? Here's the shot coming in from all of 30 yards. It was effort there from Dwight McNeil. Saw the opportunity light up in front of his eyes. Hit it left footed, but he hit it into the Liverpool fans and not into the top corner of the net. Just proving really how difficult it has been for the Clarets this afternoon. Disappointment maybe now, but they need to go. They have been rather lame today, I'm afraid, Burnley. Not as lame as they were on Wednesday night in that surrender, that cup surrender against Sunderland, but and they practically waved a white flag and let Sunderland have 3 cheap goals really as the ball is up forward. Wood determined to stay on side and lay the ball into Rodriguez, but he couldn't be found. Rodriguez, who scored on Wednesday night, couldn't be found. And here's Salah now towards the edge of the area. Bobby Firmino screaming from the edge of the area. Right footed shot, and he scores. into the left-hand corner. Bobby Firmino makes it 3-0 with a little over 10 minutes left to play. And I'm afraid it's game, set and match to Liverpool. And that was a classic Liverpool goal. It has to be said. Salah running through the middle towards the right of the D as he laid it across. Poor header from Chris Wood, gave the ball away, and then the ball threaded through. Salah was onside as the ball was played, by the way. And then he pulled the ball back, and in came Bobby Firmino to get his customary goal against the Clarets. And I'm afraid it's going to be a bad day for Burnley. Weak challenges there, possibly from Peters and Ben Mee, really. Ben Mee could have done a lot better, but having said all that, still needed finishing from Bobby Firmino, and he did that. Nick Pope, one of the best goalkeepers around, just couldn't get anywhere near, diving away to his right. The ball nestled sweetly into the left-hand corner, and the points are going back to Merseyside. I think that's a given now. Burnley 0, Liverpool 3 is the score. And as I said, just under 10 minutes now to play now, plus any injury time at the end of what's been a trying evening really for Burnley. Good value for 30 odd minutes, but then the own goal from Wood started a downward spiral, which they never really recovered from. Ben Mee with a self-inflicted third goal, but it was a really good goal, you've got to say, from Liverpool's point of view, and they're looking to try and get a fourth now. Could Burnley just put in a good last 10 minutes or so and just win a bit of pride back, really, because the game is lost. Let's face it now. They've got to play with a bit of pride. Westwood, that's a poor ball by his own high standards, and he does play with good standards, does Westwood. As Alexander-Arnold placed that ball in from the right hand side, made a good run, but Bobby Firmino and Cole could not be found. And here's Fabinho. Oh, he's done well, but he can't shake off Ben Mee that time. Burnley 0, Liverpool 3 is the scoreline. 82 minutes almost played. It's Liverpool now in the dark shirts, old dark strip, on halfway. It has been another limp performance, not as bad as the Sunderland performance, but let's look at it from a bigger picture against Burnley. This was never a game that was going to define Burnley's season. The bigger games are going to be against your Brightons and your Aston Villas of this world, and they've got them to come after the international break, of course. And we'll have England's next two qualifiers live on the JB Clark YouTube channel a week tonight and a week on Tuesday against Bulgaria and Kosovo. What games they promise to be as well. And we'll be following England all the way to the Euros. Will Nick Pope play a part in any of those next two games? Hard to say, really. Tom Heaton's also in the squad, and we've been impressed in his early days at Aston Villa. Here's Mo Salah inside the area looking to score, and in the end, good tackle there by was it Matt Lowton in the end? Mo Salah with a grimace or some sort of smile. Sadio Mane was actually in a much better position, and Mane was furious, I think, with Mo Salah. Salah saw the opportunity, and Peters in fact got back there and denied the Liverpool man. In fact, it's Peters, it's actually gone down there. Mo Salah and Sadio Mane still arguing. Bobby Firmino is feeling alright with the world at the moment. Well, he certainly is anyway, as we go to the final 7 minutes plus injury time at the end of the game. We're going to see Shaqiri coming on now, the Swiss international. We're also going to see Divock Origi on for the final 6 minutes plus any time added on for stoppages. The game has gone very quickly, I must say, as a sort of a spectacle. Mo Salah, they're just seen there on the, just taking some fluids, and we're going to see Bobby Firmino off and Sadio Mane, two of the goal scorers, are both coming off. Mane's still frustrated that Salah didn't lay him in for the number 4 there. I have to say, I think he does have a point there. But as Bobby Firmino comes off, And Mane almost refusing a handshake with Shaqiri, the man he was about to replace, and Divock Origi and Jordan Shaqiri now both on for the final 5 and a bit minutes. And look at that, I'm just seeing there a reaction there from Sadio Mane. I can understand his frustration, and he is right to vent anger, because he is, you know, a little bit of anger, because he felt he was in a much better position on that Mo Salah chance than Mo Salah was himself. But your team are winning 3-0. Why complain? You score one. What's the cry over? Anyway, here's Divock Origi with his first contribution to the game is to bring down Matt Lowton, and it's a free kick to Burnley. 3 goals down, needing 3 goals and a lot of time and a lot of snookers. Sadio Mane still hasn't calmed down, I'm noticing, on the bench, as Adrian takes another long free kick into his grasp. Jurgen Klopp's still frustrated, he wants more, but Mane, come on, your team have won, you've scored one, it's been a good day, let's just calm down and forget about it. Burnley will feel a little hard done by in certain respects on the first goal. The third goal was nothing, it was one of those that you couldn't do anything about. It was just a great finish from Bobby Firmino, no chance for the goalkeeper. Liverpool have conceded a cheap throwing though to Burnley. Chamberlain knocking the ball across, but he's had a play on the near side. Burnley, can they summon up the energy to certainly to draw the second half and take a bit of pride out of this? At the moment they're not doing so, and here's Chamberlain now. Ball was given away rather carelessly. You don't do that against European champions. Here's Divock Origi, scored the winning goal in the semi-final, second leg against Barcelona. Again, we covered here on this YouTube channel, and of course scored the second and decisive goal in Madrid against Tottenham to take Liverpool to their 6th European Cup, and they richly deserved it on the night. And of course we covered them the other week in that dramatic Super Cup penalty shootout victory over Frank Lampard's Chelsea, who drew 2-2 incidentally against plucky Sheffield United today, and Frank will not be happy about that. That is for certain. And as we go into the closing stages of the match, Chris Wood is penalised once again. Well, I don't think Jurgen Klopp can be too critical of his team. They've done a very good job, it has to be said. If you looked at the game, obviously people see me as a bit biased towards Burnley and see from claret and blue tinted claret and blue glasses, and a lot of people accuse me on YouTube for that, but I am a Burnley fan and I want them to do well. But you've got to say the professionalism of Liverpool, taking out the individual errors and the way they attack Burnley, they've been very professional and very clinical, certainly on the third goal. And here's Divock Origi, that's a good cross back, but well defended as well, equally there by Ben Mee, who will be kicking himself really, the way he gifted Liverpool that second goal. Really, if he doesn't make that mistake, I think it's an all different story. But you can't, the unfortunate thing about it is you can't really change the course of history, as Van Dijk gets the ball back to goalkeeper Adrian. So Liverpool are going to go in with 4 wins out of 4. They beat Norwich on the opening day, and the ball hooked forward, and a chance here now for Jay Rodriguez. Rodriguez round the keeper, is he? And the shot comes in, it's well parried by Adrian, and in fact I think the flag may have gone up, was it? No, Adrian made a very good save, the flag stayed down. Corner to Burnley, as we see again on the replay. Just a nice ball forward by Westwood, and J Rod onto it very well. May have been advised maybe to dink it with a bit of power over the goalkeeper's head rather than hit it along the deck. Anyway, here's the corner. McNeil, a very deep corner towards the far post. Header one by Tarkowski, but it was cleared away by Liverpool. Burnley fans now starting to stream down the exits because a lot of their fans know that the game's up, so they're going to be leaving early to avoid the traffic. And I can tell you, when you leave Turf Moor on a match day The traffic, you can be there, you can be stuck in jams coming out of Burnley for a good half hour, 45 minutes. So I can totally understand why people leave early to grab the first bus home or the first train home or whatever. I'll just get their cars out before the rush starts. And here go Liverpool again. They really are masters here. It's Robertson trying to play it through to Mo Salah. As bad as Burnley have been at the back on certain occasions, you've got to say, as I said before, professionalism, Liverpool are one of the best teams going. It's going to be 13 consecutive wins in the league, stretching back to last season as well. As Salah plays the ball in, now a real chance, but Wijnaldum was through, but so too was Nick Pope. Good goalkeeping. And I have to say, if I was to choose a Burnley man in the match, it would be neither a toss of a 20p coin between James Tarkowski and possibly Nick Pope to have a Clarets man in the match, really. But the sponsors have given it to James Tarkowski, I believe, and he wins a bottle for his efforts, which are going to be in vain. All you'll get out of it is a bottle of Benedictine, which is a local alcoholic beverage originated in Burnley. Enough about Benedictine. There's a very glum looking Sadio Mane. I can understand with his frustration, but his team are winning 3-0. He scored a goal, and I think this is what happened. This was the Salah chance when Peters got back at him, and he feels Mane that Salah should have laid him in. I'm sure they'll debate that long and hard in the changing rooms afterwards, but it doesn't matter because the game's won. There's no point in crowing about it now. Liverpool have got away with 3 points. Well, to be fair, Mane took a good opportunity when gifted one by Ben Mee. He's played okay today, Mane. There's no doubt about that. Liverpool are one of the best teams in the country and certainly in Europe, as their status as European Championships demonstrates. But a decent Champions League group to really progress as well. This is the true test of their capabilities. Now, can they defend the European Cup, or maybe just bin that completely maybe in the new year? I think they'll get through the group stages, but once they get to the knockout phase, will they bin that off and just try and put all their eggs into winning the league? Remember, they've got a very difficult December coming up, the Merseysiders. They've got to go to Qatar to play the World Cup Championships. So if they're still involved in the Carabao Cup at that point, they're going to be playing something like 12-13 matches in December alone, which is quite a lot for them to play, and then they've got to fly like 3/4 of the way around the world. It's going to be a long old month for them. I know there's another trophy to be up for grabs, and the World Cup Championship is a trophy, of course, not to be sniffed at, but maybe they'll put their eggs in the Premier League basket as the shot comes in from Shaqiri, but it's blocked away. 15 seconds of time added on to go. We've had 2 3/4 minutes of the 3, and the game is short. Well, the game was well up for Burnley after 80 minutes when Bobby Firmino added 2 goals in the first half from an own goal from Chris Wood and one from Sadio Mane after a Ben Mee mistake. As the whistle goes, the Liverpool fans, you can hear, are delighted about that. 3-0 winners tonight over Burnley. Burnley were decent for a good 35 minutes of that first half, but then after that own goal, when it was a cross, an attempted cross from Trent Alexander-Arnold, deflected over the goalkeeper Nick Pope and into the back of the net to give Liverpool the lead. And at that point, Burnley was still in the game, and then a few minutes later, Ben Mee giving the ball away rather carelessly. From Bobby Firmino seizing onto it, laid the ball to his left, where Sadio Mane was in a great position. He slotted that one away past Nick Pope with his right foot into the right hand corner. That was 2-0. Half time came and went, and then it was just professionalism from Liverpool. Mo Salah laying on the third for Bobby Firmino, hit a shot from 20 yards, right footed into the left hand corner, and that was game, set and match. Sadio Mane was substituted and he was furious. I think he was more furious that Mo Salah didn't play him for a chance when he was better positioned than Mo Salah himself. But at the end of the day, Burnley will have to take a few harsh lessons. It's been a horrible week for the Clarets, dumped out of the cup by third tier Sunderland in the week, and now beaten quite comprehensively in the end by Liverpool by 3-0. But these were scorelines, and this game was never going to define Burnley's season. They've got much more bigger games to come. Brighton and Aston Villa, just 2 of those to come in September. So they've got a few winnable games coming up now for the Clarets. But 4 points from the first 4 games, I think that's a fair reflection of Burnley's start to the season. It's been mixed, but it's not been as bad as it was last season. But it's finished here at Turf Moor as Jurgen Klopp goes off to a standing ovation. It's finished Burnley 0, Liverpool 3. And that was that. Very disappointing performance from Burnley. To be fair to Liverpool, they were very professional in the way that they played, and you've got to say well done to them. But Burnley were the creators of their own downfall. They were good. They were good for half an hour or so, but unfortunately, it wasn't to be the case. Right, well, that brings us to the end, I'm afraid, of this this delayed coverage of the game yesterday. Liverpool winning by 3-0, of course. I've said what I had to say on the performance during the commentary yesterday, and that is the way it's staying for me. But let me remind you what's coming up on the JB Clark YouTube channel. There was a few comments, just to hit on a serious note. During the commentary tonight's rerun of the game last night, there were a few horrible comments made about Burnley Football Club and towards me as well, in particular, or towards the team in particular. There was a few swear words. I'm afraid if that keeps up, the people who are concerned have been reported and will not be appearing on this YouTube channel again. The ball will also been blocked as well, and we will not tolerate behaviour on the comment section like that again. Anyway, never mind. Anyway, let's finish on a positive note. Plenty of live football coming your way. Audio commentaries next weekend. It's internationals because we're on an international break, and England are in action. We'll be following England in their next 2 European Championship qualifiers on Saturday at 4:45 in the afternoon. We'll be on the air as England take the field against Bulgaria. That's at Wembley. Kick off 5 o'clock, and then a week on Tuesday with England's first ever international meeting with Kosovo, again at Wembley. 7:45 kick off. We start our build up around about 7:30. Hope you can join us for them matches. Until then, from me, JB, have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in 6 days time on Saturday evening for our next live game. Till then, take care. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.